All right. So basically my intention I'm trying to see how we can have reviews every market outlooks every Sunday. And basically I'll just be dealing with what we expect to see in the market in the coming week. Okay, and then how we can actually leverage off, or how I'll be looking to approach the market in the coming week, basically. But then I'm trying to see how I can get those on the page course. I'm trying to see how I can get those on the page course. All right, so there are three phases to the course, right? There's the page course, there's a Sequoia course, and there's the night course. Okay, there's the night group. The night is not a course, it's actually a group. Okay, so the page course is for every other beginner. You're new to Forex, you don't know anything about trading, it is your first time joining some sort of trading platform, whatsoever it is. So it's your beginning to the whole concept and the whole theory of trading. Okay, you're totally new to that, and then we're giving you the fresh foundations. This is your first attempt to wanting to be a trader. Okay, those are the guys on the page course. Then those on the Square course. The Square course are the other guys who are on the main academy group who I have not yet certified as full traders, probably because now at the end of this year, every other person, apart from those, a few guys just joined the Square course not quite long. I'll try and see how I can hasten up a few things. So I believe they should be very much available. They should make themselves available for these sessions as much as they can, because at the end of this year, every other person on the Square course should be certified and then moved to the ninth group. Okay. Now, for those of you who are here on the ninth group, the fact is, who are here on the academy group, then you're not on the page course. The fact is that I've dealt with, I believe, 95% of what I am supposed to teach you guys, even 99%. Okay. Every other thing that I do is a function of personal growth and experience. I cannot do that for you. Okay, I can only show you my system and how I do my stuff. Okay, but I cannot grow you. I can only direct you on what I feel is how I have attained whatsoever I would claim to have attained. Okay, and then it's your responsibility to grow through that. Okay, because the process cannot be what's the right word? It cannot be boycotted. Okay, everybody has to do the process. Everybody has to do the time. On the 19th of this month, is it 19th or 17th? I think 17th or 19th, I'll be 3 years as a trader. Okay, and then for those of you who started with me earlier this year, you've been a few months down the line. Some of you guys were on towards the ending of last year. Okay, so then I see what you guys are doing, and then I'm really excited at the rate at which you're growing, and it's quite exciting for me and fulfilling for me. Okay, I was telling Jay the other day. Okay, he brought some concerns to my DM. Is he here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I was telling Jay the other day, what he's doing at the moment took me almost it took me almost 3 years to do. Okay, so if you're doing whatever analysis based off SMC, and then you had moved from the retail space, and then you're doing one thing or the other trading, for whatever degree of expertise that you execute on your chart, it took me almost 3 years to get there. Okay. And then, in as much as I like the fact that a lot of you are burning with passion and a lot of you want to, you cannot boycott process. You cannot boycott time. Okay. Time has, when it comes to okay,
The only one listen you.
who was that person? Moderator, was that you? Don't be a bush.
No, it wasn't me. I think somebody unmuted. I just joined.
Okay, please, if you join in, just mute your mic so you don't. Boss option, let me mute you. Okay, just mute you so you don't interrupt me again. All right, so like I was saying, I'm excited with the fact that all of you guys are making progress. Okay. And then I told you guys I'll be talking a lot more about trading psychology because the logic of trading is embedded inside of trading psychology. Okay. There are only a few things in trading smart money, only a few concepts. And then I cannot master those concepts for you. Those concepts took me lots of sleepless nights, lots of, I tell people I used to do 15 hours chat time daily. Okay, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. and I'm on my chat till 9 o'clock, 10 p.m. Okay, so you don't expect to begin to experience. Now, I got onto SMC in April this year, and then I've been fixing myself on all of that, getting all the knowledge that I can from April to this time. Okay, so for some of you here, you've been on the block for a month plus, like for Jay himself, he's been on the block for a month plus. Okay, and then sometimes he sends me a setup and then I just smile. Now, for those of you who have been with me prior to this time, you'll understand it got to a phase that I told you something. That's where it gets to a point where you are no longer wrong or right. The market is what proves you wrong or right. Okay, so for some of you, you have gotten to that point and then you send me a setup and you say, is this thing right, sir? I would not answer you. Okay, because the fact is that the supply or demand level you have marked is actually what I have taught you to mark. You have marked them because you have seen liquidity. Sorry, excuse me, guys. You've seen liquidity engineered, fed up into that area. You've seen price shift structure. You've seen price grab liquidity before shifting structure. You've seen everything I told you makes a zone or a block vital, right? And then you mark out that same block. And then you're asking me if this block you have marked is correct. So the fact is that what is happening at that time or that phase is you're setting what you have marked, but you need some sort of vote of confidence that I cannot give you because I am not a market maker. I cannot tell you what block is price must respect or price must not. Okay, if you have seen the block like this, okay, this block here has grabbed liquidity, okay, shifted structure, has liquidity stored up for this area that could be grabbed and favorably grabbed to be filled. You now mark this block, okay, and then you now send me a DM. So what do you think with this block hole? What should I tell you? Okay, so please, growth is in phases, okay? Growth is in phases. The same way your teachers will handle you when you are in daycare is not the same way they will handle you when you're in preschool or primary school or secondary school or even at the university. Okay, there's some questions you can't even ask in your university. Those of you who went to your high school or whatever you call it. Okay, there's some questions you can't even ask a lecturer in class because it sounds very funny. He expects that you should know these things by now. Okay, I gave you 4 criteria that I used to. Okay, I mean, just do lots of talking on this particular video, then I send a new link where we'll do a chat thing. Okay, so I gave you guys 4 criteria that I look at before considering a block as vital. Okay, number 1, it must grab liquidity to the upside. Number 2, it must shift structure. Number 3, it must what? Have liquidity stored up before it. And number 4 is an extra confluence. Most times, if it is an indecision candle or doji, whatever you call it, this kind of candles, they are more potent. That's just an extra confluence. That's not a must. Okay, so I've taught you guys and explained all of these things to you guys, and then you have seen it play out several times in your chat, and then you mark it out, and then you're sending it to me and asking me, sir, what do you think is going to happen? I don't think anything will happen. I don't predict price. Okay, I react to price. I need to get water. Okay, I don't predict price. I react to price. So when you send me, so what do you think? What do you think is going to happen, or what will happen? You're trying to put me in a position where I must, or where I have to predict the movement of what price will do, or predict the movement of price for you. Okay, and then I don't have to be in those kind of positions because for some reasons I may tell you, okay, it's going to buy. Now you're not taking your buy because you understand why price is going to buy or on the basis of your analysis. You're taking your buy because you sent me a particular chart outlook and I say, okay, it's going to buy. Which is, you cannot grow like that. If you If you need my verdicts or you need my conviction on a setup or something I have taught you every time, you can't grow like that. Okay. Now, the idea of the interactive group was to aid your growth. A lot of you guys are on the main group, or you're not on the interactive group. That's your problem. Okay. A few of you guys are on the block on scholarship, my pals and my homies. A few of you guys paid wholesomely to be there. A few of you guys paid something extra minor to be there. Okay, so if you treat it like that, it will go like that. At the end of the day, you can't hold Dr. Banks to do a thing. Okay, because I will always try as much as I can to teach. That's the best I can do to make sure that when I have something I can update you guys on, I do that. But then I cannot make you a trader overnight. Okay, you have your part to play, and then I'm diligently playing mine. Okay, I was asking, I think it was the same Jay I was asking. There are over 20 plus video recordings on the group. Everything I have ever applied on my charts, I have videos pertaining to them on the group, either on the interactive section or in the main course. Okay, I have videos pertaining to them on the group. Okay, so what I expect you guys to do on the interactive section is those questions you bring to my DM should not be in my DM. That's not where they should be. Okay, if you must ask me those questions when we have meetings like this, then bring them up. It's not like I'm not open to answering questions privately. There's some questions you can come into my DM to ask. But when it has to do with collective questions as it regards something I have taught. So let's say today Austin calls me and asks me about other block. I give Austin the same answer that I have taught in 2 or 3 videos on the group. Tomorrow, Curtis calls me to ask me about other block. I give Curtis the same answer that I have taught. Next tomorrow, Jay calls me to ask me about other blocks. I give the same answer that are we making progress? Okay, but then if Austin had simply typed that question with his chat work on the group to say, I'm looking at this, and this is what I expect. And then you guys unanimously analyze that chat together. And then if there's a lapse, I come in and answer the question at once. Now, that question may have been on Austin's mind, or have been on Michael's mind, or have been on Jay's mind, or have been on Sandra's or any of you other. Okay. But I have just answered one person, and then by so doing, I have answered every other person. Okay, easing the stress of wanting to come to do one. That's Curtis. Is that you on the background with that amount of noise?
Curtis is not here. He's answering a call.
Okay. Then it was from your background, Austin. It was from your background. So, all right then. So, what I'm insinuating is that the essence of the interactive area is so that the fact is that any question on your mind has a tendency of being in the mind of any other person in the group if they are having the same challenge. Okay, I can just deal with that once and then that's all. Okay, but then when you keep bringing it to my DM and I keep attending to that privately, at the end of the day, to be limiting what I should be doing because I begin to see it like it's extra work for me, extra stress for me, extra. Then when do I have chance to take in more students? When do I have chance to mentor more people? I have a target of reaching 1,000 people by the coming year. Okay, so when do I have chance to do all of that? If I must attend to you guys individually because for some reasons you paid for mentorship. Okay, I have a mentor myself and then I don't sleep in his DM. Okay, I cannot, by virtue of answering your questions, reduce your chat time. Okay, and then I'm using JJ because JJ was the last person I had this conversation with. So I asked JJ, how many hours do you backtest a day? He said he has not started backtesting. So that's your challenge. You're not backtesting. That's why you have all these questions you have. If you're backtesting, you won't have any of those questions you're asking. Okay, because you would have seen this thing happen 3, 4, 5 times on the chart. You just know what it is already. So if you're coming for confirmation and just that's that. Okay, as I'm saying this, just say yes. Refer to this, that, and that video. It's as simple as that. Okay, but then when you don't backtest, and then when you don't backtest, and then You don't backtest. You only wait for me to teach, or when I drop a setup, you just look it up and that's how will you learn? Okay, when I say I'm on the chat 15 hours, I don't trade 15 hours. I trade only London and New York. Okay, and then I see my trade setup and then I have alerts set. Whenever the alert triggers, I will come back on my screen. So what am I doing for 15 hours? I'm backtesting previous data. So night before I sleep, I'll backtest to everything that happened last week. I'll backtest everything that happened last week and get myself ready, even after giving you guys this. Okay, but when you don't backtest, you are deluding yourself, because at the end of the day, a professional trader is a full-time backtester and a part-time trader. The entire trade is just to press buy and sell. What stands you out is your backtesting, because backtesting is what builds your confidence. And now you've seen these things happen over and on. You're very confident that it will happen. So you're used to your edge, you've mastered your edge, and then you just do your thing. Okay, but when you're not backtesting, you're just waiting for me to come up and tell you this, that. So how do you know this, that, when you've not seen it happen on the chart? You're not forward testing, you're not back testing, you're probably 2 hours in a week or 3 hours, or whenever I drop a setup. You can't become a trader like that. You can't make progress in Forex like that. At the end of the day, you'll be very much limited. Okay. I told you guys how I wasted 1 year plus of my FX time learning indicators and all of those rubbish. Okay. And then I moved on to the retail space last year. Ending of last year to early this year, February, March. Okay, and then within the time I was trying to master pure price action, I taught price action as fine as I could. To date, I still see some guys who claim to trade basic retail, teaching retail price action on YouTube, and they're saying rubbish, they're saying trash. If I want to teach price action, I would do way better than that. And then the materials I have on price action are still way outstanding and all of those things. Most of those things I see people do. Okay, and then I ventured into SMC in April. So it's April, actually May, because April ending, I began to study a few things because of some responsibility my boss has given to me. So May, June, July, August, and this is September. So in 5 months, I'm teaching you guys with this amount of confidence and this amount of progress, because I've seen it happen over and on. I've studied it for myself. Okay. It was after I had gotten to a particular level in my study, I decided to get in some other mentorship groups and then see how these traders do their own kind of thing for themselves. And then I just watch their chat work. I don't even bother anybody with questions. If I see you do a thing, I go back to my chat and trace it out. That's how I learn. Okay, if I see you mark this and mark that and mark this, I go back to my chat and mark it out and watch it play out, mark it again and replay it. That particular trade you took, I'll go and replay it, replay your entry point, replay it. I'll mark out the exact entry I've seen you take that trade on, where you had your entry. I'll write the figures out. I'll come and mark it out as an entry. Then I'll replay it over and on till I can spot the reason why price gave you an entry at that point and why you had entered. Okay, that's how I learn. That's how to grow. So don't expect me to continually spoon feed you till you will not become a trader like that. Trading is a practical thing. Okay, trading is a practical thing. It's not in lots of theory. Okay, and number two, those of you who I consider to be on the Sequoia course already, or those of you on my private mentorship who are here, don't expect classes every day. There is nothing to teach you every day. Trading is not English, where we have too many words and have too many. There are very basic concepts in this world, in this our industry, for those of us who trade SMC. Supply and demand, order flow, market structure, order block. What else? Liquidity, okay, which falls under the advanced inducement theory. When I talk about advanced inducement theory, I'm just talking about liquidity and then how to base your trading on the concept of liquidity. I've taught all those things. Have I taught supply and demand? Have I taught order blocks? Have I taught breaker blocks? Have I taught flip zones? Have I taught, what else? Name them. I've taught all of those things. So when you message me and say, sir, are we not having a class? A class in my head means I begin to think, what have I not taught these guys? So when most of you message me and you want to, when are we having a class, sir? I'm thinking, what have I not taught? What is left on the syllabus that I've not taught you? And then I'm scanning through my head. I'm not remembering anything I've not taught you. So I've resolved, okay, every Sunday we'll do market outlook for the week. The course of market outlook is probably as I'm explaining the chart, I may say something that I was, oh, all right, NEPA has done yet. So probably in course of explaining the chart, I would say something that probably I could not have said earlier. and then I'll just use that privilege or opportunity to address that, and that's that. But then when it comes to classes, I've taught you guys everything. Anything I've not taught you guys is a function of experience. Okay, are there some other things that I apply to my trading that I have not said in a video? It's not like there's some hidden secret or hidden gem. Those are personal experiences. Okay, it's not like there's some textbook theory or things I have studied, and then they're still based off all of these things I've taught you guys. Okay, so the place of mentorship is not a place of class. So let's get that straight. For those of you on my mentorship does not mean classes. I don't know if you, for people like some of you guys who I know are into a few stuff that I do as well. You know what mentor, if you say I have a mentor, you know what it means. It's not like he's calling you every day to show you something. It means if you have a certain challenge, it means if you have a certain difficulty, you need advice on a particular thing, that person should always be there. That's what a mentor is. If I say I'm your trading mentor, I'm not your trading teacher. Okay, I've done well to teach the classes I could take. And then what I do is that after teaching those subjects, we fall back to mentorship. So mentorship requires that in your own little study, if you encounter any form of distress, I should be there to help you pull through. Or when you come to me saying, I want to do ABC, I should tell you, okay, I've tried ABC, ABC does not work, do BCD. Now we can bring up a topic from there and work out a way how we can do BCD without doing ABC. That's what a mentor is. So please don't misconcept my mentorship for, I'm not a classroom teacher, please. Okay, so I believe I had said enough as it regards that. The idea is for us to make progress. But deliberately, I will refuse to spoon feed you. I will refuse. It is part of my mentorship scheme not to spoon feed any of you. Okay, that's how you grow. That's how you grow. Though I'll try as much as I can to caution you and help you mark out warnings if I see you walking through a path that will not lead you to where you want to go. Okay? Because that's also part of my responsibility. But then don't restrict it to classes. Okay? I understand that is a function of passion, but like I will always say, passion without direction is chaotic. All right, so let's do, all right. So let's do Outlook very quickly. Any questions before we proceed on that? Any questions, anybody? How many new guys do we have here, guys from the page course? Let me see, so I know what I'm saying. I'm not even seeing any of them here, so okay, none of them are here. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, good for me, so I can, I will not be too cautious. So are we good to go? Can we make progress now? Can we do it Outlooks? Somebody answer me now. Who is my coordinator, moderator again? Curtis is not here back. Austin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, Precious. Precious, how far?
Sir. Good evening.
Yeah, well done. Good evening. All right, so let's make progress. Now, this is it before I forget, okay? What I'm selling you guys is a logic. I'm not selling you guys a strategy. I'm not selling you guys I'm selling you guys a mindset. I'm selling you guys a psychology. I'm selling you guys the market. I'm trying to make you guys think like the market makers. That's what I'm trying to sell you guys. It's not where I put my stop loss and where I put my take profit that's the problem. Okay, I'm trying to sell you guys a logic of how these guys, how I have perceived to see these guys trade. Okay, how I feel they trade, how they engage price, how they see price, how they view liquidity, how they view structure, that is what I'm trying to sell to you. Okay, once you can understand this logic for yourself, you can now begin to tweak this logic to fit your own trading style and your personality. That's what I'm selling to you, a logic. I'm not selling a trading system to you. Okay, so refuse to have that mindset of wanting to make it feel like a trading system. Okay, I'm only selling you a logic that I have watched and viewed over time, and then I've seen to be efficient. Okay, So let's make progress. Let me clear my charts. So this is Euro USD. Okay, and then I'll just be working from the 4-hour time frame because there's actually no need to go to the daily time frame. Okay, so we have this structural break to the downside, right? Okay, we have this break of structure indicating that price is still interested in lower prices, right? And then this is our structural range. This is our structural range from point A here to, I'll consider this as point B. Okay, I'll consider this as point B. Then everything that happens inside here, I'll consider as range structure. So this is a very far distance because if we are targeting this, we'll be looking at a lot of travel. If this is our POI, if we are looking at this as our POI on the 4-hour time frame, we may not be able to trade the whole of next week and after next week. Okay, so we can't be looking at that area as our POI. Okay, because we should be looking out to see trades. If this is our 4-hour POI, price needs to come back here and retrace and then correct and then impulsive correction, which I'm certain, except by some act of heavy fundamentals, price will not get here. Price will not get to this top this week. That's if it should even get there. I don't see a reason why price should even get there at all. Okay, so we cannot be dealing with this. So let's work with the story we have inside of this place. Okay, as it's more important to me because this is the 4-hour structure. This is the internal structure on the 4-hour time frame. Why is it internal structure? Because the actual structure is this range. The actual structure is this range from here to here. Okay, it's the actual structural point. This is the actual daily structural point. Okay, this swing high here to this swing low. All right, so running out of time, 10 minutes. Let's just finish with EU, then I send a new link. So on this structural 4-hour internal structure, what have you observed here? That we have this area here where price was grab liquidity or shifted structure, whatever you choose to call it. And then we have this break of structure. Okay, so some of you who saw my setups for last week, we're expecting that price will trade back into this area of demand before we see further push to the upside, right? But then we didn't get that before we actually shifted totally from this structure, giving us double break of structure, which is an extra confluence. I want to believe I'm audible enough. Okay, so we didn't get price getting back to this.
The volume is a bit low, sir.
Okay, sorry, I'll try to be a bit louder. So we didn't get price come back to this region, to this demand block here before moving higher. And it was because for some reasons, price did not have a reason to get back there. Okay, price did not have a reason to get back there. Now we must understand when we are looking at structure, we are only looking at premium to discount areas. Okay, so if this is the low point here, it means this is the high point. Okay, and then this line is our midline. So anywhere below 50% is discount price, right? So anywhere from below 50% is reasonable enough and justifiable enough for price to react to. Now we may not see what price reacted from here on the 4-hour time frame. That's why I like to work much more with my what's it called? I like to work with my lower time frame, except we are using this violation block. Okay, except we are using this rejection block, rather. If you're using this rejection block, you can understand what happened here, but it's not so clear until we go down to a much more lower time frame. So let's see maybe the 1 hour, the 15 minutes. All right, so what price actually did was to grab liquidity from this low, okay, which was liquidity resting below its order block, and then tap this here. That would be a 15 minutes breaker or a 5 minutes breaker, most definitely. Let me see that clearly. All right, let's wait for this to load. I don't know why it's acting up. So price would have definitely grabbed a, yeah, nice. So this is actually the breaker block on So price sniped this breaker block, right? And then the breaker block, like I said, is the closest thing. It is the closest thing you can find to retail resistant broken tone support. So resistance broken tone support or support broken tone resistance in SMC, they are just breaker blocks. And then I explained to you how the concept of breaker blocks work, right? So if price walks or rejects off a breaker block, the coming back to that area definitely should clear that breaker block as liquidity and then mitigate the actual order block we have in the picture. Okay, so the actual order block in this picture should be sitting somewhere below here. Okay, I'll show you why I'm interested in that area, or somewhere even, okay, yeah, this area, somewhere around this area. That's where the actual order block, because that's where we have our imbalance, previous point of imbalance resting. Okay, I believe you can see my imbalance properly, the space between this guy to this guy. Okay, my inefficiency of a value gap, whatever I choose to call it. Okay, so I expect this to be rated in the coming week and then to see lower prices. Okay, last week I had leveraged up this buy, but then because I was expecting price to reverse off this area, I only had a 7 arrow to this point, and then I closed my buy setup, the buy setup I got from this point. And then it gave us amazing move. I think over 130 something pips. Yeah, okay. So at the moment, price did 167 pip move before it began to drop. Okay, and then I only closed somewhere around here, around 68 or 65 pips. Okay, so what was I saying? Price actually rejected off that area because that area was already a discounted area considering the 4-hour internal structure. Okay, this is our 4-hour internal structure. Now, how do I know this qualifies for a swing high? Before you begin to mark swing points and say, okay, let me mark out my 50%, price has to give you something that makes that place a swing point. Okay, and then what is that thing that makes that place a swing point? You must see a clear grab of liquidity and break of structure. There must be a clear, you must see this at that point. Okay, price must get to that point and do this, grab liquidity to the upside and then shift structure. So something like a slanted M pattern. Okay, and then so we should have slanted M patterns and slanted W patterns. Okay, something like this. Okay, so this is like an M, but this is higher than this, right? And this is like a W at the bottom, but this one is lower than this. Okay, so this happening here indicated that this place is a potential swing high. And then it had the capability to push price down for a while. Okay, so after I have seen this, that is the only reason I will now begin to look for my discount or premium. Until then, price will keep violating any line you draw. Price will keep violating any line. If I had not seen a shift of structure at this point, then it means it does not qualify as a swing high. Price can easily drop below, not drop below, price can easily come here, respect demand order flow, and then continues upward movement. Okay, but the essence of this retracement that you see clearly on my entry time frame. Okay, you see clearly on my entry time frame. I think I had that marked out. Yes, this guy here. Okay, so I had a nice grab on liquidity and break of structure to the downside, or you can use this guy. So from the fundamentals that happened last week, retest and then drop. Okay, so price had actually used the fundamental that happened last week to drop back to this area of our breaker block on the 5 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever time frame you view price from. So a breaker block here was respected, sniped the breaker block, and then continued to move up because the breaker block was inside the discount level of this swing low to this swing high. Okay, this swing low to this swing high. Okay, and then we had some other things that sponsored that move to the left because we also had grab on liquidity here and a break of structure here, right? Okay, grab on liquidity and a break of structure, shift of market structure, what you guys call change of character. Okay, so it means that this whole zone was potentially possible to push price to the upside, to the downside. Okay, so price respected supply order flow. Now, do not forget, this is our structural swing point. Okay, this is the lowest, but I'm using this because it actually has the same characteristic, grab liquidity. Okay, so this guy here, grab liquidity from this low. If not, I would have still maintained using this. Okay, so automatically it shifted to this guy. Now, this is our value swing points here to here. If this sale had continued and violated this low, it means we are looking out for more sales and then we're not even looking for buys. If these sales had come here and then taken out this low, okay, like every other person expected, it means automatically you'll be looking for the same price, retrace back into premium level and then drop, continue with sell this week. But then because that did not happen, automatically we are looking out to seeing buys. Okay, I hope everybody's familiar with what I'm saying. So by default, on the 4 hour time, on the let's see the same story on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, we had a sniped breaker and then grab liquidity from this low. Okay, from this sort of a demand order block, which was supposed to be a what's the right word? Was supposed to be a flip zone. Okay, the guy that sponsored this rally to the upside. So because this has failed and then it had liquidity stored below it, tapped into this, it means price still has reasons to see lower prices in the coming week. So this coming week, what we're expecting is for price to, because we now officially have a break of structure. Okay, so let me clear all of this now. I was dealing with the 4 hour structure, the internal structure on the 4 hour, which was this guy and this guy, right? So now we'll be dealing with the structure that formed from this high to this low, this high to this low, this high to this low, giving us a 4 hour kind of downtrend kind of thing, right? Okay, this session will expire in less than a minute. So let me send a new link to the group so I don't get stopped halfway. Okay, so I'm sending a new link to the group right now.